All right. Okay. I'm going to wait a little bit for people to come in. We'll see who comes in, if anybody. Here we go. Yeah. So, how's it going in for? Good to see you. I'm going to wait for about 4 or 5 more people to come in before I start. But tell me how you're doing. So we got 2 people watching. What have you been up to in for? Did you like the Cameo Man video? Pretty happy with the stream. Yeah. Today I'm going to be reading Leo Tolstoy's The Three Questions. That's a good story. And the first time I heard Leo Tolstoy's The Three Questions was when a very famous man, self-help guru. I can't think of what his name was, but he read it. So it looks like it's just you and me in for, unless you want to invite some people in. Now, so the 3 questions. It has a very good moral to it. It's very good. Hey, what's up, Piers, man? Piers, are you familiar with Leo Tolstoy at all? Gung to the chung to the vung to the kung to the dong dong, jung to the rung to the kung to the dun 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 dun. Okay, so we got 3 people watching. Welcome to the Leo Tolstoy stream. And what I want you to do is, when we get to 4 people, I'm going to start. So Yakov's here. How's it going, Yakov? Good evening. And Clara. Oh, okay. So we got 5 people here right now. So this is a very famous story. It's called The 3 Questions by Leo Tolstoy. So let me see. Okay, here we go. It once occurred to a certain king that if he always knew the right time to begin everything, if he knew who the right people to listen to and whom to avoid, and above all, if he always knew what was the most important thing to do, he would never fail in anything he might undertake. And this thought, having occurred to him, he had proclaimed it throughout his kingdom that he would give a great reward to anyone who would teach him what the right time for every action, and who were the most necessary people, and how he might know what was the most important thing to do. And the learned men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. In reply to the first question, some said that to know the right time for every action, one must draw up in advance a table of days, months, and years, and he must live strictly according to it. Only thus, said they, could everything be done at its proper time. Others declared that it was impossible to decide beforehand the right time for every action, but that, not letting oneself be absorbed in idle pastimes, one should always attend to all that was going on, and then do what was most needful. Others, again, said that however attentive the king might be to what was going on, it was impossible for one man to decide correctly the right time for every action, but that he should have a council of wise men who would help him to fix the proper time for everything. But then again, others said there were some things which could not wait to be laid before a council, but about which one had at once to decide whether to undertake them or not. But in order to decide that, one must know beforehand what was going to happen. It is only magicians who know that, and therefore, in order to know the right time for every action, one must consult magicians. Equally various were the answers to the second question. Some said the people the king needed most were counselors, others the priests, others the doctors, while some said the warriors were the most necessary. To the third question as to what was the most important occupation, some replied that the most important thing in the world was science. Others said it was skill in warfare, and others again said that it was religious worship. All the answers being different, the king agreed with none and gave the reward to none. But, still wishing to find the right answer to his questions, he decided to consult a hermit, widely renowned for his wisdom. The hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted, and he received none but the common folk. So the king put on simple clothes, and, before reaching the hermit's cell, dismounted from his horse, leaving his bodyguard behind. He went on alone. When the king approached, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. Seeing the king, he greeted him and went on digging. The hermit was frail and weak, and each time he stuck his spade into the ground and turned a little earth, he breathed heavily. The king went up to him and said, "I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you the answer to three questions. How can I learn to do the right thing, right time? Who are the people I most need? And to whom should I, therefore, pay more attention to than the rest? And what affairs are the most important and need my first attention?" The hermit listened to the king, but answered nothing. He just spat on his hand and recommenced digging. "You were tired," said the king. "Let me take the spade and work a while for you." "Thanks," said the hermit, and giving the spade to the king, he sat down on the ground. When he had dug two beds, the king stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit again gave no answer, but rose, stretched out his hand for the spade, and said, "Now rest a while and let me work." But the king did not give him the spade and continued to dig. 1 hour passed, and another. The sun began to sink behind the trees, and the king was at last stuck the spade into the ground and said, "I came to you, wise man, for an answer to my questions. If you can give me none, tell me so, and I will return home." "Here comes someone running," said the hermit. "Let us see who it is." The king turned around and saw a bearded man come running out of the wood. The man held his hands pressed against his stomach, and blood was flowing from under them. When he reached the king, he fell fainting on the ground, moaning feebly. The king and the hermit unfastened the man's clothing. There was a large wound in his stomach. The king washed it as best he could, bandaged it with his handkerchief and with the towel the hermit had. But the blood would not stop flowing, and the king again and again removed the bandage, soaked with warm blood, and washed and rebandaged the wound. When at last the blood ceased flowing, the man revived and asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. Meanwhile, the sun had set and had become cool. So the king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him onto the bed. Lying on the bed, the man closed his eyes and was quiet. But the king was so tired from his walk and the work that he had done that he crouched down on the threshold and also fell asleep, so soundly that he slept all through the short summer night. When he awoke the next morning, it was long before he could remember where he was or who was the strange bearded man lying on the bed, gazing intently at him with shining eyes. "But forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice, when he saw that it was the king who was awake and looking at him. "I do not know you, and I have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. "You do not know me, but I know you. I'm that enemy of yours who swore to revenge himself on you, because you executed his brother and seized his property. I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I resolved to kill you on your way back. But the day passed, and you did not return. So I came out from my ambush to find you, and came upon your bodyguard, and they recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from them, but I should have bled to death had you not dressed my wound. I wished to kill you, have saved my life. Now, if I live, and if you wish it, I will serve you as your most faithful slave. I will bid my sons to do the same. Forgive me. The king was very glad to have made peace with his enemy so easily, and to have gained him for a friend. And he not only forgave him, but he said that he would send his servants and his own physician to attend him, and promised to restore his property. Having taken leave of the wounded man, the king went out into the porch and looked around for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to beg an answer for the questions he had put. The hermit was outside, on his knees, sowing the seeds in the bed that had been dug the day before. The king approached him and said, "For the last time, I pray to you, answer my questions, wise man." "You've already been answered," said the hermit, still crouching on his thin legs and looking up at the king who stood before him. "How answered? What do you mean?" asked the king. "Do you not see," replied the hermit, "if you had not pitied my weakness yesterday, and had not dug these beds for me, but had gone your way, that man would have attacked you, and you would have not repented of not having stayed with me." So, the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man. And to do me good was your most important business. Afterwards, when that man ran to us, the most important time was when you were attending to him. For you had not bound up his wounds. He would have died without made peace with you. So, he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business. Remember then, there is only one time that is important. Now. It is the most important time because it is the only time when we have any power. The most necessary person is the one whom you are. For no man knows whether he will ever have dealings with anyone else. And the most important affair is to do that person good. Because for that purpose alone was this man sent into this life. So that's a pretty good story. Okay, so let's go back and see what the comments are. Okay, I haven't been reading the comments because I've been reading the thing. So, Young Bung. Hey Randy, what are we doing tonight? Nothing as far as I know. Just wanted to say hi, Randall. Hi, Piers. Reading Tolstoy, nice. Finish writing an email to my mom. Shout out to Randy in the chat. We have a council of wise men. Yeah, clairaudience. They advise the oracle. Yeah, whatever. Hey man, what are we gonna do? That interview? Dragon, I'll say to you what Ash said to the Necronomicon. I'll get back to you. So, Dragon, you should listen to the moral of the story. I really like that story. I just got here. All right, yeah, Dragon, I will get back to you. I do intend to still do that interview, but alas, Google Hangouts has somewhat changed their stuff. I think Tolstoy is suggesting that everybody who has a question on how long they should live is have an answer. Yeah, probably. I'm trying to remember that Dan author who wrote. It's a bald guy. He died a little while ago of a heart attack. He was a really big guy. He was some sort of self-help guru, and I cannot for the life of me think who that is. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool story. So did you all like the story? Have any thoughts? If this Tolstoy stream gets a lot of likes, if people like it, I'll probably try to tackle I'll try to tackle War and Peace one chapter at a time. We'll see. There's no need to look for counsel from others when doing the right thing. Sometimes it's something that's learned itself without thinking. Yeah. So I believe I believe what the book said is, the most important time is now. The most important person is the person you're with, and the most important thing to do is the right thing. So you should read The Double by Dostoevsky. Maybe. I'm sorry, that's all the time we have for today. So that was my Leo Tolstoy stream. Like I said, if I get over 20 likes, I'll probably do another one tomorrow sometime. 20 likes, so make it so. And so yeah, the dude. I'll keep it going. Oh, let's discuss. Okay, go ahead. Oh, you were talking about yeah. All right. Yeah, we can discuss. Yeah, I like reading. Anthony Robbins said leaders are readers. Hey, can you read that whole section again, my friend? Just tuned in. I will read the last couple of paragraphs because I don't think I read that right. I had chocolate in my mouth at the time. So it is the last few paragraphs. So here we go. One more time. One more time. The king approached him and said, "For the last time, I pray you to answer my questions, wise man." "You've already been answered," said the hermit, still crouching on his thin legs and looking up at the king who stood before him. "How answered? What do you mean?" asked the king. "Do you not see," replied the hermit, "if you had not pitied my weakness yesterday, and had not dug these beds for me, but had gone your way, that man would have attacked you, and you would have repented of not having stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man. And to do me good was your most important business. Afterwards, when that man ran to us, the most important time was when you were attending to him. For if you had not bound up his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business. Remember then, it's only one time that's important. Now, it is the most important time because it's the only time where we have any power. The most necessary person is the one with whom you are, for no man knows whether he will ever have dealings with anyone else. And the most important affair is to do that person good, because for that purpose alone, this man sent into this life. So yeah, I had to reread that a little bit. So so yeah, so I remember it now. So the most important time is now. The most important person is the person you're with, and the most important business is to do that person good. So those are the answers to the three questions. Yeah, D-Man, thank you. I appreciate it. The bearded man's forgiveness and the king's acceptance of the bearded man's forgiveness may also be important as both men side comment, which is important as resentment, having ability to cloud an individual's judgment. A person is not able to do their best for another person should they hold animosity toward them. Yeah, I read the story a million times. I really like it. This is fantastic content, but I popped the like button, cherry. All right, thank you. Joy with the letters said, "Can you read Cat in the Hat next time for some of our small-minded people?" I want to keep it for Leo Tolstoy right now, but if I can find Cat in the Hat, I would like to do that. I would, and if I could, I should. I think the king should listen to his loyal fans and stuff. Does it mention who the translator is? It's surprising how good a translator can make a Russian story really take off. Unfortunately, so much poetry is lost in the translation. I'll look. I don't think it says, but I just hope that War and Peace is as good as this one. I think it says. I'll tell you the website where I got it off of. It's plow.com or plow. I'll spell it PLOUGH.com. Sorry, I have a cold. Yeah, plow.com. And yeah, the only reason why I agreed to do Tolstoy was the fact that copyright runs out after 67 years. So if your material is 67 years old, be it a book, a DVD, whatever, if it, well, DVDs haven't been around that long, but if it's been 67 years, the copyright has run out. So I could probably find all this stuff for free on the internet, like I found this story. Well, anyways, so did you like the reading? Did you think I gave it enough feeling? I mean, I tried to do my best. Read the John Galt speech and Atlas shrugged. I might do that. I might do that right now. Let's see. Let me if I can find Atlas shrugged, just that little snippet, I'll do that. But if it gives me the entire book, I'll do it later sometime. John Galt speech. Let me see. I'm probably just going to get a bunch of articles and deconstructing John Galt's speech. So. I don't think I'll keep looking. I think I'm just going to find a bunch of videos that have John Galt's speech. Okay, here we go. I think I have it. So, I'll give you a little Tolstoy. Now I'm going to give you a little Atlas Shrugged. Okay? I need to get into character here. For 12 years, you've been asking, who is John Galt? This is John Galt speaking. I am the man who loves his life. I am the man who does not sacrifice his love or his values. I am the man who has deprived you of victims and thus has destroyed your world. And if you wish to know why you are perishing, you who dread knowledge, I am the man who will now tell you. The chief engineer was the only one able to move. He ran to a television set and struggled frantically with its dials, but the screen remained empty. The speaker had not chosen to be seen. Only his voice filled the airways of the country, of the world, thought the chief engineer, sounding as if he were speaking here, in this room, not to a group, but to one man. It was not the tone of addressing a meeting, but the tone of addressing a mind. You have heard it said that this is an age of moral crisis. You have said it yourself, half in fear, half in hope of the words that had no meaning. You had cried that man's sins are destroying the world, and you have cursed human nature for its unwillingness to practice the virtues you demanded. Since virtue, to you, consists of sacrifice, you have demanded more sacrifices at every successive disaster. In the name of a return to morality, you have sacrificed all those evils which you held as the cause of your plight. You have sacrificed justice to mercy. You have sacrificed independence to unity. You have sacrificed reason to faith. You have sacrificed wealth to need. You have sacrificed self-esteem to self-denial. You have sacrificed happiness to duty. You have destroyed all that which you held to be evil and achieved that which you held to be good. Why then do you shrink in horror from the sight of the world around you? That world is not the product of your sins. It is the product and the image of your virtues. It is your moral ideal brought into reality in its full and final perfection. You have fought for it, you have dreamed of it, you have wished it, and I am the man who has granted you your wish. Your ideal had an implacable enemy, for which your code of morality was designed to destroy. I have withdrawn that enemy. I have taken it out of your way and out of your reach. I have removed the source of all those evils you were sacrificing one by one. I have ended your battle. I have stopped your motor. I have deprived your world of man's mind. Men do not live by the mind, you say. I have withdrawn those who do. The mind is impotent, you say. I have withdrawn those whose mind isn't. There are values higher than the mind, you say. I have withdrawn for whom there aren't. While you were dragging to your sacrificial altars the men of justice, of independence, of reason, of wealth, of self-esteem, I beat you to it. I reached them first. I told them the nature of the game that we're playing, and the nature of that moral code of yours, which they have been too innocently generous to grasp. I showed them the way to live by another morality. Mine. It is mine that they chose to follow. All the men who have vanished, the men you hated yet dreaded to lose, it is I who have taken them away. Do not attempt to find us. We do not choose to be found. Do you not cry that it is our duty to serve you? We do not recognize such duty. Do not cry that you need us. We do not consider need a claim. Do not cry that you own us. You don't. Do not beg us to return. We are on strike, the men of the mind. We are on strike against self-emulation. We are on strike against the creed of unearned rewards and unrewarded duties. We are on strike against the dogma of the pursuit of one's happiness is evil. We are on strike against the doctrine that life is guilt. There is a difference between our strike and all those you have practiced for centuries. Our strike consists not of making demands, but of granting. We are evil according to your morality. We have chosen not to harm you any longer. We are useless according to your economics. We have chosen not to exploit you any longer. We are dangerous and to be shackled according to your politics. We have chosen not to endanger you, not to wear the shackles any longer. We are only an illusion according to your philosophy. We have chosen not to blind you any longer and have left you free to face reality. The reality you wanted, and as the world you see it now, a world without money. We have granted you everything you have demanded, who had always been the givers, but have only now understood. We have no demands to present to you, no terms to bargain about, no compromise to reach. You have nothing to offer us. We do not need. Are you now crying? No, this was not what you wanted. A mindless world of ruins was not your goal. You did not want us to leave you. You moral cannibals. I know that you've always known what it was you wanted, but your game is up, because now we know it too. Through centuries of scourges and disasters brought about by your code of morality, you have cried that your code has been broken, that the scourges were the punishment for breaking it, that men were too weak and selfish to spill all the blood it required. You damned man, you damned existence, you damned this earth, but never dared to question your code. Your victims took the blame and struck upon, and your curses as reward for their martyrdom, while you went on crying that the code was noble, that human nature was not good enough to practice it, and no one rose to ask the question, good? By what standard? You wanted to know John Galt's psyche. I am the one who was asked that question. Yes, this is an age of moral crisis. Yes, you are bearing punishment for your evil, but it is not the man now on trial, nor human nature that will take the blame. It is your moral code that's through this time. Your moral code has reached its climax, the blind alley at the end of the course. If you wish to go on living, what you need now is not return to morality, you who have never known any, but to discover it. You've heard no concepts of morality, but the mystical or the social. You have been taught that morality is a code of behavior imposed on you by whim, the whim of a supernatural power, the whim of society, to serve God's purpose or your neighbor's welfare, to please an authority beyond the grave or else next door, but not to serve your life or pleasure. Your pleasure, you have been taught, is to be found in immorality. Your interests would be best served by evil, and any moral could be designed not for you, but against you, not to further you life, but to drain it. For centuries, the battle of morality was fought between those who claimed your life belongs to God and those who claimed that it belongs to your neighbors, between those who preach that good is self-sacrifice for the sake of ghosts in heaven, and those who have preached that the good is self-sacrifice for the sake of incompetence on earth, and no one came to say your life belongs to you. Good is for you to live it. Both sides agree that morality demands the surrender of your self-interest and of your mind, that the practical are opposites, that morality is not the province of reason, but the province of faith and force. Both sides agree that no rational morality is possible, and there is no right or wrong reason. That in reason, there's no reason to be moral. Whatever else they fought about, it was against man's mind that your moralists have stood united. It was man's mind that all their schemes and their systems were intended to spoil and destroy. Now choose to perish, or to learn that the anti-mind is the anti-life. Man's mind is the basic tool of survival. Life is given to him, survival is not. His body is given to him, his sustenance is not. His mind is given to him, its content is not. To remain alive, he must act, and before he can act, he must know the nature and purpose of his action. He cannot obtain his food without a knowledge of food and the way to obtain it. He cannot dig a ditch or build a cyclotron without knowledge of his aim and of the means to achieve it. To remain alive, he must think. But to think is an act of choice, the key to what you so recklessly call human nature, the open secret you live with, yet dread is the fact that man, being a volitional consciousness, reason does not work automatically. Thinking is not a mechanical process. The connections of logic are not made by instinct. The function of your stomach, lungs, or heart is automatic. The function of your mind is not. In any hour in the issue of your life, you are free to think or evade that effort. But you are not free to escape from your nature, from the fact that reason is your means of survival, so that for you are a human being. The question to be or not to be is the question to think or not to think. A being of volitional consciousness has no automatic course of behavior. He needs a code of values to guide his actions. Value is that which one acts to gain and keep. Virtue is the action by which one gains and keeps it. Value presupposes an answer to the question of value to whom and for what. Value presupposes a standard, a purpose, and a necessity of action in the face of an alternative. Where there are no alternatives, no values are possible. There is only one fundamental alternative in the universe, existence or non-existence, and it pertains to a single class of entities, not to two living organisms. The existence of inanimate matter is unconditional. The existence of life is not. It depends on a specific course of action. Matter is indestructible, and it changes forms, but it cannot cease to exist. It is only a living organism that faces a constant alternative, the issue of life or death. Life is a process that is self-sustaining, self-generated action. If an organism fails in that action, it does. Its chemical elements remain, but its life goes out of existence. The only concept of life that makes the concept of value possible. It is only to a living entity that things can be good or evil. A plant must feed itself in order to live. The sunlight, the water, the chemicals it needs, or the values its nature has set to pursue. Its life has a standard of value directing its actions, but a plant has no choice of action. There are alternatives in the conditions it encounters, but there is no alternative in its function. It acts automatically to further its life. It cannot act for its own destruction. An animal is equipped for sustaining its life, senses provided with an automatic code of action and automatic knowledge of what is for it good or evil. It has no power to extend its knowledge or to evade it. Its conditions where its knowledge proves inadequate, it dies. But so long as it lives, it acts on its knowledge. With automatic safety and no power of choice, it is unable to ignore its own good. Unable to decide to choose the evil, it acts as its own destroyer. Man has no automatic code of survival. His particular distinction from all other living species is the necessity to act in the face of alternatives by means of conditional choice. He has no automatic knowledge of what is, for him, good or evil, what values his life depends on, what course of action it requires. Are you prattling about an instinct of self-preservation? An instinct of self-preservation is precisely what man does not possess. An instinct is an unerring and automatic form of knowledge. A desire is not an instinct. A desire to live does not give you the knowledge required for living. And even man's desire to live is not automatic. Your secret evil today is that the desire you do not hold. Your fear of death is not a love of life and will not give you the knowledge needed to keep it. Man must obtain his knowledge and choose his actions by a process of thinking, which nature will not force him to perform. Man has the power to act as his own destroyer, and that is the way he has acted through most of history. A living entity that regards its means of survival as evil would not survive. A plant that has struggled to mangle its roots, a bird that has fought to break its wings, would not remain for long in the existence they affronted. The history of man has been a struggle to deny and destroy his mind. Man has long been called a rational being, but rationality is a matter of choice, and the alternative his nature offers him is a rational being or a suicidal animal. Man has to be man by choice. He has to hold his life as a value by choice. He has to learn to sustain it. By choice, he has to discover the values it requires and practice its virtues by choice. A code of values accepted by choice is a code of morality. Whoever you are, you who are hearing me now, I am speaking to whatever living remnant is left uncorrupted within you, to the remnant of the human, to your mind. And I say, there is a morality, a morality proper to man. A man's life is standard of value. All that which is proper to the life of the rational being is the good. All of that which destroys it is the evil. Man's life, as required by nature, is not the life of a mindless brute, of a looting thug or mooching mystic, but the life of a being, not by the means of force or fraud, but by the means of achievement, not by survival at any price, since there's only one price that man pays for man's survival: reason. Man's life is the standard of morality, but your own life is its purpose. If existence on earth is your goal, you must choose your actions and values by the standard that which is proper to man, for the purpose of preserving, fulfilling, and enjoying the irreplaceable value which is your life. Since life requires a specific course of action, any other course will destroy it. A being who does not hold his own life as the motive for his actions is acting on the motive and standard of death. Such a being is a metaphysical monstrosity, struggling to oppose, negate, and contradict the fact of his own existence, running blindly amok to the trail of destruction, capable of nothing but pain. Happiness is the successful state of life. Pain is the agent of death. Happiness is that state of consciousness which proceeds from the achievement of one's values. A morality that dares to tell you to find happiness in the renunciation of your happiness, to value the failure of your values, is an insolent negation of morality. A doctrine that gives you, as the ideal, the role of a sacrificial animal seeking slaughter on the altars of others, is giving you death as your standard. By the grace of reality, the nature of life, man, every man, is an end in himself. He exists for his own sake and the achievement of his own happiness. I am just going to see how much is left. Holy crap. Wow, I'm totally glad I did not go for that entire thing. Yeah, I can't read this entire thing. This would take 5 hours. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. It's good. I like it. So let me see. Let me see here. I'm gonna go back up. Awesome stream. Have you ever considered narrating some of Edgar Allan Poe's work? I think that Darth Bane. Have you ever considered narrating some of Edgar Allan Poe's work? I might. Yeah. Maury Thompson. I didn't know how long that speech was. If I did, I probably wouldn't even have started that because it'll take 5 hours to read. Yeah, it's not that long. It's a good speech. Best hero ever. I find it objectivism to be a very powerful philosophy. Smarter. Randall. A and Randy. Hey, Callie Randy is currently narrating the John Galt speech from the Timeless Classic Shrugs. There's only a little bit left. No, I looked. There's like 5 hours left. Okay, Maury, let me ask this. Number one, where did I leave off? And number two, let me look at this speech again, because like what I'm seeing is like tons and tons. I like to read, I do, but I tend to read in chunks. So, yeah, I think that's where I'm going to stop in the Ayn Rand speech. I'll look back over this. I'll look back over this this thing, and I'll pick up from where I left off. Maybe not next stream, maybe not the next stream after that. I like the idea of Edgar Allan Poe. I'm gonna try to do a chapter at a time of War and Peace, and so let me see. Maybe you could read the whole thing in a separate video. Maybe. I think you have heard it said it's an age of moral crisis. Joey with the letters, go to Hooters and read the speech to a waitress. That would probably work, I admit. I'm a pretty good reader. Call you on camera really quick. Okay. I hope this is the real Fears, man. So we'll see. And we'll see if Fears wants to speak on camera. Did you are you in the stream right now? Did you tell me to call you? Okay. Do you want me to put you on speakerphone? Okay. Okay, go ahead, Fears. All right, hold on. Let me turn up the volume. All right, there you go.
Okay. All right, so everybody can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, Randall, I am so glad that you were doing streams. I love your streams. You're picking up the slack, while Fears is taking a little bit of a break. I don't know how long the break it's going to be. And
are you enjoying the John Galt speech?
I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it because I've been editing a video. I just got up. Finally, me and Casey finished that Monopoly game. Got that up yesterday, and then I got up just yesterday, and then I'm working on our Jacksonville trip because we went on another road trip. So I thought, oh, what the hell? I'll just do another road trip vlog.
Nice. I think people are really liking this reading stream.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Randall, you have actual fans, not like me. I mean, most of mine are troll fans and fucking idiots and shit. So you have actual real fans. So yeah. Anyway, that's not why I called Randall. I just wanted to call.
You know you're on speakerphone right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Randall. Anyway, Randall, I just wanted to call and say thanks for all your work. On the cartoon, dude. The cartoon came out amazing.
Yeah, and people in the chat comment on the cartoon. What do you think of the cartoon?
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, thanks for all your hard work on the cartoon, dude. Always appreciate your hard work on the cartoon. Second of all, like I said, thanks for picking up the slack, while Bear's taking a break from live streaming. And the third thing, Randall, where the fuck is my cameo? Randall, that's the main reason why I wanted to call. I just wanted a cameo in this live stream.
Yeah.
I thought it would be funny. Well, I mean, I also called to say thank you for all your hard work, but I thought it would be funny. I'll call randomly where the fuck is my cameo? Anyway, Randall, is it okay that I did that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, the reading was pretty good. Like I said, I didn't watch all the reading. I kind of had it, in the background while I was editing something. But from what I heard, it was pretty good. What is this going to be a new?
Maybe.
Streaming?
It depends. I'm at 9 likes now. If I get to 20 likes, this will be
All right.
If I get to 20 likes, this will be a repetitive thing that I do.
So this is going to be like a new streaming session for you.
Yeah, because I really like reading, and like I said before, Anthony Robbins said, leaders are readers, and I mean, if you want to be a good writer, John, you got to be a good reader too.
Yeah, I know. I need to read more. I've watched way too many movies, and I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I'm not lying. I have not wrote anything new on my book yet. I've only written like the 7 or 8 pages. That's it. Not even kidding. I've just been so busy with shit. But anyway, Rand, I just wanted to call and like show a funny joke. I'm like, where the fuck is my cameo? You son of a bitch. No, but I'm just saying. I'm glad I'm taking a break, dude. Beer seems to be a little bit more chill these days. And like I said, thanks for all your hard work, dude. I love the cartoon. Can't wait to work on, Cameo Kid. I'll do my classic, Cody. I play Cody, guys. And then we're going to get on Fear Stand episode 4, The Cave of Fear. And, Randall, I got another little surprise for the fans. That's coming.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And then I recently went to another theme park. Did some vlogging there, and then me and Casey went on their 2 adventures. So hell yeah, man!
All right. Well, I will say Latre, and I will talk to you later.
Excuse me, Randall. Excuse me, but before I go, it's only Fears that says Latre, so I must say, Randall.
Lord Fears.
Valid needs to go. So I will see you Latre, my friend.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye. Yeah. Whenever I go to the store, I get a Cadbury Caramello. It's a good little snack. Yeah. So, for everyone, if you do have a favorite Poe story, if you do have a favorite Leo Tolstoy story, if you do have a favorite Charles Dickens story, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I would really like to read Pit and the Pendulum. That'd be good. And then The Raven or The Telltale Heart. That would be good. So yeah, Claire audience, I hate to say it, you were cracking me up. Had me laughing. Do The Raven. Yeah. I will do it. Not this stream. I'm going to stay on for another 7 minutes. It's 53:08 right now. So if you got anything to say, type it in the chat right now. Do that right now, because in about 7 minutes, I'm packing up. Saw the line reading video, got to be honest. Oh, I'm forgiving. Well, people are like they are. Yeah. So, yeah, so like I said, if you want this, a regular thing is what I was thinking of. Regular thing. If you want this to be a regular thing, 20 likes. 20 likes. Well, what I like about Fears is that he's so hard-headed. He helps me do my leverage. If you don't know what leverage is basically where you make a bet that you're going to do something. Now, the key to this is that you have somebody who doesn't let you welch on it. And, Fears is really hard-headed, and he's not going to let me slide. And that's exactly what I need, So, everybody smash that like button. Yeah. But yeah, everything's going great, and I really enjoyed the stream. I really did. I really did. And like I said, I'll do the John Galt speech sometime later. No, not later this month. Maybe mid-month, sometime September, because I scrolled through that and there was a crap load of stuff yet. I don't even think I was 1/4 of the way through it. So yeah. So like I said, if anybody else has some stuff, now there's one thing I want to know. I did put out an audiobook of my main character, Gemini Jones. Did anybody take a look at that? Because it was my original character. It was a detective. It was kind of like a Sherlock Holmes, modern Sherlock Holmes type thing. So I guess I'm just gonna plug that right now. So it's either on Vlogging with Mr. Brown, or it's either on Vlogging with Mr. Brown, or it's on Cameo Man. It's not a book. It's an it's uh it's an audio reading, like just like I did here, and it's a story called Gemini Jones. He's a Sherlock Holmes type character. He's really shitty to his sidekick, Marcus White, and it's kind of more along the lines of the Mentalist than it is Sherlock Holmes. But if you can go to my Vlogging with Mr. Brown, or if you can go to Cameo Man, check it out. Listen to it. Leave lots of likes and let me know what you think of it. So yeah, Dirth. I think it's on. It's either on It's on my Vlogging with Mr. Brown or Cameo Man. So check it out. And Gemini Jones is a very smart alecky, like confident type of character. He's a lot like Patrick Jane off The Mentalist, where the thing that I love about Patrick Jane is that Patrick Jane is so sure in himself of all his conclusions that he just said, "Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. I can tell. You were rubbing your neck and your eyes went to the left, which means you're making stuff up. And then you also covered your mouth. So yeah, you're lying. So Gemini Jones has that same overconfident aura to him. So yeah, we've got 3 more minutes. Like I said, if you got anything to type it now. Please do. Get that out and get it out there. What about your books on Amazon? My book on Amazon, I have 2 books. One is called The Little Memory Book, 7 Little Tricks That Make a Big Difference. It's on Amazon Kindle. You can't buy a hard copy yet, as I'm working on the second edition of that book. I'm rearranging some of the exercises, and I'm putting the conclusion at the beginning, and and then and then also my other book is called Quantify and Achieve Your Goals. Now, here's the thing about this book: when you type it in, put quantify !colon your goals, because the thing about it is on CreateSpace, which is the publishing thing I use to make it, they put in the colon for the subtitle automatically. It should be quantify ! Your goals, but they put quantify ! colon your goals. So yeah, it's kind of stupid, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to find it. Or I guess you could go on Google and look at quantify and achieve your goals. And basically, it has a lot of my stuff on goal setting and how I, set my goals to publish my book, and I did it obviously. So, say they really enjoy your content. Oh, thank you, one of my favorite streamers. Randy, I really hope the Cameo Man reboot gets your full attention. I'm hoping you decide to put all the projects on hiatus for a while so we can get a season of Cameo Man. Right now, the next two videos, the next one that I do absolutely will be Cameo Man. I've got 2 ideas right now. I'm not going to tell you what they are. I got 2 ideas, and they involve twist endings. I've been watching a bunch of other superhero fan films on the internet for inspiration. One of the things that really caught my eye was Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn's anything with Harley Quinn, I'm watching because she's one of my favorites, and then Catwoman too. They had Gotham City Sirens on YouTube, so check those out. Yeah, yeah. The next, excuse me, the next video that I do will definitely be Cameo Man, and then after that, it's up in the air. I'll either do Cameo Man, or I'm going to do an animated version of my first award-winning live-action film, Thrilling 3. I'd also like to offer my talents as a voice. I have high-quality sound recording equipment and can provide the lines even if they don't fiber. I just bought Spotify. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's nice of you. Yeah. We will see. So it is a minute past when I said I was going to be here. So yeah, I just wanted to say this, like I said, smash that like button, and there will be more of these. But if I don't get up to 20 likes, this is not going to be a regular thing. But I definitely will do it again because like I said, I do like reading and I do like performing. So yeah. So thank you for anybody who bought my book. Thank you, Claire audience. And like I said, it's on Amazon Kindle. You can't buy it on hard copy yet, but buy it on Amazon Kindle. Little memory books, 7 little tricks that make a big difference, and quantifying the achievable goals. And my name is Randy Brown. Ooh, we're up to 10 likes. Yes. All right, and I will see y'all later. All right, bye.